It is Family Law Friday, so that means I am joined by my friend, attorney John Schmidt, who is here. And we talk about all kinds of things, whether it be divorce, custody issues. Today we're going to talk about IPOs and EPOs, when you should seek one, and what is the difference. First of all, welcome in. It is National Guacamole Day, so you must partake, John.
A little salsarita action here.
Do you mind?
No, I don't mind. No,
because
no.
I'm bragging because I do think it's
the
really
salsarita
good guac.
people, very nice people.
They are nice people.
Yeah, they're very nice people.
They give back to the community, and they make great guac, which isn't a bad thing.
No, it's a great thing.
Looks good on the resume. There you go. How is it?
It's incredible.
There we go.
Really good.
I'm
Yeah.
glad you like it. Okay. On a serious note.
All right.
Okay. When should someone seek an IPO or an EPO? And I guess first of all we should clarify what does that acronym stand for?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. So an IPO is interpersonal protective order, and so the EPO is an emergency protective order. An IPO is for dating relationships. An EPO is for domestic relationships. So the differentiation, I think, is, a domestic relationship is wife, you're living together, household members, grandparents to grandchildren, those relationships, right? That's in the house.
Right.
Right, or in the immediate family kind of deal. IPO is a dating relationship, so someone that you have an expectation of affection with. Business relationships don't count. Casual relationships don't count. It's the where you're dating. So expectation of affection. There's been expression of romantic interest. You've gone to things together and been out as a couple. Those kind of things. Okay, so yeah.
when you say EPO and I hear the word emergency, so that means there's probably some kind of immediate danger. So as an EPO, I guess is more extreme and more immediate.
No,
right?
they both share that requirement. They both share the requirement of needing protection because there's an imminent and present risk of or actual physical injury, sexual abuse, assault, or stalking, and so we're seeing a lot of this happening. And one of the reasons why I thought about this week is we're seeing a lot of it happening with middle and high schoolers, where people are seeking protection, and I think it's an upcoming trend. And in some cases, it's appropriate. So if you have, a boyfriend or a girlfriend that can't seem to let it go, and they're actually stalking the other person, then that would be appropriate for an IPO. But if you're in a blended family, for example, and that's difficult enough as it is, those are really tough. But the adults sometimes talk about litigation and they spin the kids up. So we generally consider this bad behavior on the adults' part. They're not supposed to talk about litigation with children. Kids need to be kids, right?
There you go. Yes.
If you're middle schooler or high schooler, you just need to enjoy high school, right? So just enjoy middle school, enjoy high school. You got enough going on as it is. There's enough drama going on.
Yeah, so
you have kids, I have kids. We've been there, right?
You said something though that I don't know if the right word, interesting is the right word, but let's just say I'm curious. You said there seems to be a trend. So high school, middle school. Why do you think that is? You're saying there's more, stalking, more threats. Is it because of our current environment seems to be a little more volatile? What do you attribute that to?
I think so. I think it's just that people, when they feel like their kids are being bullied or there's a conflict, with social media, we talk less. We interact electronically more, and so the ability to resolve differences in an interpersonal relationship where we normally would say, "Hey, John, our kids are having this issue. Let's talk." Mm-hmm. People are doing, I think, less of that, and they're resorting to the courts more.
Okay, so these are court-ordered, an EPO or an IPO, right?
Yeah,
so when do you get involved, John, and why would you get involved?
Well, if it's with kids, a lot of times we get appointed because kids are involved and they need counsel. So the court will appoint a guardian ad litem, and a guardian ad litem is an attorney that's had training to represent children. I happen to be one. many of us, and so the court will appoint us to represent the child in that action. Although the parent may have taken that out on their behalf, the child is entitled to representation. And it's very helpful because sometimes the parents are the ones who are misbehaving, and the child needs someone to stand up for them and give them a voice. And, there are very few people who are bigger and louder and more assertive than I am. So I have no trouble giving a voice. So I have no trouble doing that.
So when is what's the threshold, I guess is what I'm saying is, when should what are some of the red flags and going, okay, I need an IPO, I need an EPO, because you said some kind of immediate danger, stalking, threats. So
right.
what is the bar?
If you got physical injury going on or a threat of physical injury, someone threatening to hurt you, kill you, that's a problem. And if you've been in a dating relationship, or if you have that domestic relationship, then you can seek protection. Sexual abuse, that's a problem. And then you have assault, which is, unwanted physical contact. And those are defined in different levels in the statutes. And stalking. And stalking is kind of the trick, because you get that kind of behavior with people who can't let it go sometimes in a relationship, right? So it's a course of conduct that someone has directed toward another person, evidencing two or more events with no legitimate purpose. And that gets to be a little bit of a trick, because sometimes, I could call you and say, hey, John, I need to talk to you about, I don't know, sports for the kids. Right? Mm-hmm. And that's a legitimate purpose, talking about something going on with the kids. But if it's just that, someone's pining over you, well, that's a whole different kettle of
they're
fish.
showing up just to...
Yeah, no legitimate purpose
for no other
there.
reason.
Right? Yeah, you're somewhere and they show up, or they're driving past all the time. There's no legitimate purpose to that. So now if they're on their way to work and, you live on the same street, that's a different story. And that's where all the facts kind of come together. But you have to have that, and it has to be directed towards someone and cause that person to be seriously annoyed, intimidated, harassed, or alarmed. And that would cause a reasonable person to feel that way. But the real trick is the second prong of the test. And the second prong of the test is that they have to make an implicit or explicit threat of physical injury or death, that kind of thing, toward the alleged victim.
Wow.
And so you'll get this behavior where they're parking next to you all the time, they're following you in the hallways, this kind of stuff, but they don't make the threat.
So do the parents need to file for this, EPO or IPO, or can a minor file for this? How does that work, John? Do the parents need to get involved?
I don't think there's anything stopping a 16 or 17-year-old from going and filing that kind of thing if they have the mobility. As a minor, though, I would expect the parent
to get involved,
to do it for them, yeah, or be there with them when they're doing it. But if you're at risk of harm, I don't think there's anything stopping you from seeking the protection of the courts.
Right, yeah, that's number one.
And the juvenile courts are uniquely situated for this kind of thing. They really do a good job of working with juveniles and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, with family law attorneys like yourself, with the family court system that we have, you said you love these judges.
I love them.
The protection is available. That's the bottom line.
100%. Every family court judge I know, everyone, whether you agree with them most of the time or not, every one of them puts the kids first, and every one of them is looking to protect the kids and do what's best for the children. And it's a burning passion of every one of the family court judges. They really are amazing.
It's nice to hear, especially from someone who's involved, with family law. So we mentioned IPOs, EPOs, divorce, child custody. Talk about other family law issues that you handle, John, before we let you go.
Absolutely. So, we do custody, divorces, adoptions, CPS cases, and then criminal representation. So this week was a good week. We had a lot of good things happen.
Good.
Parents get kids back, cases get settled. We did some really good work this week, so pretty happy about it. They call Patty at 502-509-1490, and Patty will set you up. Teresa's there now, but I don't know if Teresa's answering the phone, and Caitlin starts Monday. So pretty excited about the whole staff. So
I'm excited whenever you're here. Family Law Friday with the law offices of John Schmidt. He, of course, is attorney John Schmidt. All right, we'll take a little break here.